A new nonprofit hopes to bring together businesses and community members to bring new life into a Joplin neighborhood. I'm Samantha Walker, and I'll have that story coming up.
Plus, Missouri's governor appoints the state's first female attorney general. And players and fans are shocked after learning Friday night lights are canceled at Springfield's oldest high school stadium this fall.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A newly formed nonprofit hopes to bring new life to Joplin's Midtown District. This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. KOAM's Samantha Walker has more on how organizers hope to bring together both businesses and community members.
You know, we don't see quite the same foot traffic that we would see maybe downtown, but we do love the community.
If you walk down Joplin's Main Street between 10th and 20th, not only will you see dozens of businesses, but you might see a small plaque in the sidewalk telling you you're in the Midtown District. To some community members, it's a place often overlooked.
This is an important area because it is one of the most entrepreneurial friendly zones in our city. Someone can easily come to this district and with a very small amount of money start a new business. There's just so many opportunities that are available to everyday people right here in Midtown.
That's what's inspired the creation of the Midtown Joplin Alliance, which will encompass that stretch of Main Street and the surrounding 6 blocks on each side. The organization's goal is to advocate for opportunities to improve the district, promote local business there, and keep the area clean.
You know, really every part of town does deserve a champion and someone to help showcase some of the great businesses like Fred and Red's and Norma's Diner or the OK Bar that are right here in Midtown and have been staples of Joplin for a very long time. We need someone to help showcase the businesses that are happening here and the opportunities for new businesses that could happen here.
Local business owners like the one here at Zinc Coffee say they're excited about the new alliance and the opportunities it could bring to Midtown.
We're really excited about growing into that, growing our business and figuring out what Joplin needs from us. It seems like there was a lot of initiatives for downtown and specifically like everything between like maybe 1st and 7th. So I'm excited to hear that there's some stuff going on, you know, really for us in the 7th to 20th range and what we could do to kind of come together and to just be good partners with each other.
Since the announcement of the new alliance, community members and organizations have voiced their support. The Downtown Joplin Alliance shared the news, adding, quote, "This is what Joplin needs. Every neighborhood needs to put on their big boy pants and do the hard work." For those in the Midtown District, they hope to not only improve their community, but emphasize supporting small and local businesses.
This is allowing us to make sure that the money is reused inside of our community to build our people and build our town.
And then we can do things like investing into art culture and craft culture and leaning into that, making Joplin a place that people want to be instead of a place that people want to go to other places to have life and fun experiences.
Reporting in Joplin, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
The nonprofit organization says they've already had many community members reach out to learn more and get involved. They say the best way to do so is by following their Facebook page, Midtown Joplin Alliance. Missouri's governor appoints the state's first female attorney. Governor Mike Kehoe named Catherine Hanaway to the position today. She replaces Andrew Bailey, who's moving on to become co-deputy director of the FBI, a newly created position. Hanaway is currently a partner at a St. Louis law firm, and previously she served as Republican Speaker of the Missouri House of Representatives. Hanaway takes over the AG role next month. The Oklahoma Highway Patrol says they're still in the early stages of investigating yesterday's crash on I-44 that caused the death of an Oklahoma Turnpike Association worker. Troopers say a semi drifted off the Will Rogers Turnpike near Miami and struck and killed 36-year-old Zachary Reinhart, who was picking up debris on the shoulder of the interstate. The semi then struck an OTA vehicle where another worker, 25-year-old Colton Armstrong, was inside. Armstrong was taken to an area hospital with critical injuries. The Texas semi driver was uninjured. He told investigators he dropped a device and was trying to pick it up when he left the roadway. Well, Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us now with a first look at weather.
Well, some of you got some scattered showers and a few thunderstorms out there today, especially during the morning hours. And then again, We had some hit and miss ones that popped up during the afternoon. Looking pretty calm now. We have a couple little guys kind of skirting around the four-state area, but overall most of us are shaping up pretty good. As we go through the rest of the night, again, a random little thunderstorm could pop up late tonight into tomorrow morning, but then we start the day. We see a pretty good day. We're going to go up to about 92 or 93, but the good news here is our humidity is going to be on the lower side as we head into Wednesday, which, hey, we definitely want to see. All right, 80 in Joplin, it's 81 in Pittsburgh, so it's still warm outside, but it is going to get better. In fact, we could be looking at these numbers for highs next week. We'll talk about it here in a bit.
Yeah! It's going to be a great year, guys! Let's do it!
Seniors at McDonald County High School started their morning early as they watched the sunrise come up for their first day of school. The seniors met on the high school's football field, taking pictures and enjoying donuts.
They're high achievers, they're kind, they're a smart group, they're an involved group, and it's going to be a great year. I know they're going to be good leaders for us, and they're going to do a great job. 150 school days from now, the McDonald County High School seniors will walk across the stage during sunset at graduation. Well, there won't be any Friday night lights at Springfield's oldest high school stadium this fall. And that's because of Central High School will not be competing on the varsity level. Emma McDarris talks to the district's athletic director and football players about the decision.
Woke up at 6 in the morning, went to football, then had a 10-minute break in between, went home, got food, then went to work, then went right back to football, and I barely saw my family. You know, my siblings, they're about 2 years old, so they go to bed really early. And that was all summer because I was committed to this. You know, I had an urge for it, you know, and I love my team.
David Bitok is a senior football player at Central High School who says he feels betrayed with SPS's decision to cancel the Bulldogs varsity season.
AD of Central came last minute and told us that we're not allowed to play varsity season because lack of upperclassmen and because safety concerns, which he was only there for 4 practices for 10 minutes. So we feel like he really didn't even get to see the whole picture. And we feel disrespected as a team and as a school too, because he didn't even give us a chance. And you know, that's our administrator and they're supposed to be behind us. So we feel really betrayed on that part.
The athletic director for Springfield Public Schools, Josh Scott, says part of his duty is to make sure students are playing against teams with similar age and skill level.
Looking at the realistic situation of, are we going to have freshmen and as 14-year-old boys to play against 17-year-old young men? And we thought the best way to build the program and have a football program in the future was to build them up through a JV schedule and have our freshmen, juniors, and our sophomores play together, and then hope to talk to our opponents to give our seniors the ability to play also so that they could still play football their senior year. It would just be at the JV level.
Scott says the players will still be able to grow in their skills and as a team.
They still have an opportunity to be a part of Bulldog football family, and they still have an opportunity to make our school better and how they act and interact within the schools on a daily basis. This is not a decision that anyone wanted to make, but with the numbers and safety purposes, it's a decision that we had to make.
Well, canceling the varsity season will not just affect players, but band members, cheerleaders, and the color guard. The athletic director says the district is standing by its decision for this school year. Well, coming up, the troops amass.
More National Guard troops from multiple states are hitting the streets of D.C. I'm Caroline Scheidler in Washington. I'll have that story coming up.
But up first, seniors and prescription meds. There's a hidden risk of addiction, what you need to watch for, and how to get help. The measles outbreak that erupted in West Texas is over. State health officials say it's been more than 42 days since any new cases have been reported in the counties that previously showed transmission. Now, 2 incubation periods have now passed. Since late January, Texas officials confirmed at least 762 measles cases in the state. Dozens were hospitalized and 2 children died. The first measles fatalities in the U.S. in a decade. Across the country, more than 1,300 measles cases were reported this year, the most in more than 3 decades. Seniors face rising risk with prescription drugs, and addiction is becoming a real concern. More older adults are seeking help than ever before. Chris Bryant dives into this growing issue.
Medications can be tricky to keep straight, especially when you have multiple prescriptions.
As seniors get older, they tend to have more chronic conditions. They tend to be on more medications to treat those chronic conditions. And the more medications you have, you get polypharmacy, you get more risk of possible interactions or causing problems.
It isn't just prescribed medications, but food and alcohol can have an effect on medications you are taking. Alcohol is the most misused substance, followed by cannabis.
Diet plays an important role in every aspect of healthcare, and taking medications and interactions with foods, beverages, alcohol, those things are no different.
The American Psychological Association says that 1 in 11 adults over 60 had a substance use disorder in 2022, with common risk factors of bereavement, forced retirement, and health problems.
So when you're looking at side effects of medicines, when you're looking at possible interactions, there's lots of different symptoms. So things like confusion, dizziness, drowsiness, unsteady walking, nausea, vomiting, upset stomach, changes in vital signs like blood pressures, either too high or too low.
Mercy Springfield says it's important to make sure you have conversations with your doctor when it comes to the medications you are taking and talk about concerns you may have.
There's always that risk anytime you're dealing with people. I think communication is key. Communication between the patients, the family members are an important part of the care team, and the physicians. And so it's important to educate the patients on how to take their medications, when to take their medications, and possible side effects of those medicines.
Well, doctors say you can have a conversation with your loved one and their primary care provider about attending appointments to help with understanding their medications and side effects. If you or someone you love is having addiction issues or is in immediate danger, you can dial 988 to speak with someone trained to help. Well, Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast, and later, balancing books and bills, how Pittsburgh students are finding part-time jobs that fit their schedules and sometimes even lead to full-time careers.
Well, it definitely turned out to be hot again for us today. 97 was our afternoon high, but our temperatures, they're actually going to get a little bit better as we go through the next few days. Now, it's still going to be hot, but it's going to get better, which is good news. Some of you, about 40% of us, got some rain today. I was in the 60% that didn't, and I know a lot of you are in that. We don't have a lot of rain chances over the next few days. I think our chances go up a little bit more as we go through next week. But you can see it's kind of rotating around us, around the four-state area. Just not much going on out there. We could get a few pop-up ones later on tonight, but again, it looks like most of us are going to end up staying dry. Here's a couple guys trying to pop up next few hours, and then kind of gone, but there is still slight chance we could get a few showers in here. By morning, we're sitting into lower 70s. As we go through the morning hours, we're going to be into the upper 80s to near 90 by noon. By the afternoon, 92 or 93 degrees. Better than 97. So we're going in the right direction. Average high is 90 for this time of the year. Heading into Thursday morning, we drop back upper 60s for overnight lows. As we go into Thursday afternoon, not bad, near 90. So right about where we should be for this time of the year. So we're trending in that direction. 87 by noon, high temp 93 as we go into your Wednesday. It looks great. Nice shot of our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex tower cam, downtown Joplin. Temperature sitting near 80 across the region. Humidity is still up there. It will start to drop off a little bit the next few days. Dew points into the 70s mean it feels kind of muggy. It feels kind of soupy across the region, but our heat index not as bad tomorrow. It's going to be kind of sitting 93, 94 degrees across the region, which isn't terrible. As we go into Thursday, it backs down a little bit more. It looks like our heat index is going to be near 90, so it's kind of matching our temperature, which is great news. Heading out to Atlantic, we have Hurricane Aaron, which tracks real close to North Carolina. You can see how close it is to the coast. So they're going to have some erosion, some high waves, but we aren't going to see this making a landfall in the lower 48, which is good news. You're going to like the weather by next week. Gets even better. Here's our high pressure. See this little circulation? Our high pressure breaks down and it shoves its way back toward the west. This is what we call northwest flow. It's out of the northwest. This allows some cooler air to work in. So instead of upper 90s or mid 90s or even near 90, we're going to be closer to 80 by the time we go through next week. 93 on your Wednesday, 91 Thursday, 93 Friday, 90 Saturday. Hot, but better. Maybe a few storms Saturday, and then a nice stretch of 80s for highs most of next week.
Those Saturday storms during the day, evening, or what are we looking at?
Afternoon, very scattered. Most of you dry.
Kind of like today. All right, thanks, Doug. Well, coming up next, peace talks continue.
Well, President Trump launches a new round of diplomacy. Russia continues to batter Ukraine in the skies and on the front lines. In London, I'm Alex Hogan. I'll have more on this story coming up.
Sign up now.
PSU held its annual community fair this afternoon. The event, typically held at the start of each fall semester, enables students to meet with local companies, businesses, and organizations. Organizers say it's about showing students the value of planting roots and building futures right here in the 4 states.
Just a lot of chain situations that you run into in Pittsburgh. So we have a lot of smaller things or maybe entities that they haven't had as much personal interaction with.
There's a bunch of church groups, and that's something that I'm really interested in. So definitely happy to see that they're here.
Ton of hospitality going around. They're giving away a lot of stuff, and it's just been a lot of fun being able to get free stuff and learning more about the community.
Events like this are normally held on the campus oval. However, with construction underway, the event was relocated outside the Overman Student Center. Well, some students at Pitt State are getting a glimpse of their future thanks to a job fair. As KOAM's Ty Parks reports, the opportunity could give full-time students some part-time possibilities.
I'm more looking for something to fit in my schedule of classes and just help pay for all the expenses of like living here on campus and food and all that.
A part-time job can fit perfectly with a full-time student.
Yeah, a lot of students are looking for that part-time work when they're coming to campus. They need something to do in between the classes, and whether that's an on-campus job or off-campus, it just makes it nice to have one event where students can come and talk to these local employers that are looking for those part-time opportunities.
McCarthy's Bar is just one employer we spoke to that said they are perfect for the college student with limited hours.
Luckily, our hours are flexible. We're looking for just anywhere from 15 to 20 hours a week availability. We're not open on Sundays, so there's a day off that no work and no school. Obviously, they can take care of their schooling.
Sometimes a part-time job can be a stepping stone to the full-time career.
Hope that those opportunities do transfer into something long-term, and I know employers are seeking out those as well. It all just depends on what the company is looking for, whether that's just a part-time position or it is something that could potentially transition into full-time, but there's always opportunities for that.
This is another way PSU paves the way for success for its students.
I think that's really good. It'd be really hard for students to get full-time in with all the classes and everything, so.
In Pittsburgh, Ty Parks, KOAM News.
The university hosts various job fairs for both students and the community throughout the year. Well, coming up next, firefighters join in on the fun at a back-to-school bash in Chautauqua, Kansas. Well, school started last Monday in Chautauqua, Kansas, but the town came together tonight for a fun back-to-school bash. Now, firefighters fired up the grill, cooking hot dogs, while students from pre-K through 12th grade, their families, and community members enjoyed games and activities. First Baptist Church handed out reusable water bottles to keep everyone refreshed. Just because kids are back in the classroom doesn't mean the fun has to end.
This event represents how we feel about kids, that we want to include their families and that we care about them and we want what's the best for them, and that when you come to Chautauqua, you're a name, not a number.
The event also served as a fundraiser to support preschool teacher Jessica Midget, who is bravely fighting breast cancer. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. Coming up, Russia launches its biggest air assault in weeks as President Trump pushes for peace talks.
We'll have the latest on fighting in Ukraine and what it could mean for U.S. involvement. And more National Guard troops arrive in D.C. after President Trump's emergency order. But city leaders say the extra force is not needed.
You're watching the 4 states' most watched news.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. Despite talks in Washington to end the fighting, Russia increased its attack on Ukraine overnight, both in the air and on the front lines. Fox News correspondent Alex Hogan has the latest.
Another night of brutal Russian attacks on Ukraine as President Trump pushes for peace. Just hours after a high-stakes summit at the White House, Russia unleashed its biggest air assault so far this month. The number of attacks more than doubled from Sunday night. At least 270 drones and 10 missiles hit energy infrastructure and other buildings. Civilians in the area say it's clear they're being targeted.
This is not a military house. Families live here, children, youth, old people. There is no military object here.
It comes as Ukraine is losing more territory on the Eastern Front. Russian President Vladimir Putin is pushing a heavy new offensive, sending thousands of troops to try to break a stalemate that's lasted more than 3 years. Some Ukrainians have complained that the flow of weapons from the West is slowing down. But the White House is hoping the new plan to sell arms to Europe for deployment in Ukraine will speed things up.
That's so different from what we've seen over the last 3.5 years, where we just had emergency supplemental after emergency supplemental.
President Trump told Fox News on Tuesday he's not considering sending American troops to Ukraine to help push the Russians back. But some experts say if the U.S. wants to offer security guarantees, some sort of military presence could be inevitable.
To have credibility and have some real teeth in this, U.S. forces could be there.
The president says he's working on setting up a trilateral summit with his Russian and Ukrainian counterparts. In London, Alex Hogan, Fox News.
Well, the State Department revokes more than 6,000 student visas this year, mostly for criminal violations like DUI and assault. Hundreds more were pulled over suspected terror ties. The crackdown follows new Trump administration rules requiring applicants to share social media accounts and allowing officials to screen for hostile attitudes towards the U.S. Critics warn the policies could cut international enrollment by up to 40%. Secretary of State Marco Rubio defends the move, saying there's no constitutional right to a student visa. Residents and tourists could soon see more soldiers on the streets of Washington, D.C., as several Republican governors say they're sending members of their National Guard to assist the president in his crackdown on crime in the nation's capital. Fox's Caroline Shively has more from Washington.
More National Guard troops are heading to D.C., adding to the 800 district troops already called up by President Trump since he declared a public safety emergency.
Democrats are calling me up and they're saying, "Sir, I want to thank you. My wife and I went out to dinner last night for the first time in 4 years, and Washington, D.C. is safe."
Republican governors from Louisiana, Mississippi, Ohio, South Carolina, and West Virginia have committed to sending hundreds of their Guard members to Washington. Troops from West Virginia began arriving Monday.
D.C.'s ability to govern itself matters to every single American because the District of Columbia isn't just a tourist destination, it's a place where the business of our country is done.
Attorney General Pam Bondi says 52 arrests were made Monday, bringing the total number of arrests to 465, with 68 guns seized since the increased federal presence began on August 7th.
Washington, D.C. had the 4th highest homicide rate in the country, right here in the Capitol.
But D.C. officials point to dropping crime statistics, with violent crime through early August down more than 25% from last year.
You know what doesn't make sense? The numbers on the ground in the district don't support 1,000 people from other states coming to Washington, D.C.
The Home Rule Act lets the president command D.C.'s police for up to 30 days in an emergency. After that, Congress must grant an extension. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
Well, Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast. And later, it's not just puppy love. The CDC says dogs can boost your health. And in Vermont, there's even a mountain retreat celebrating man's best friend.
Well, some of you got at least a little bit of rain early this morning, and then again a few scattered thunderstorms this afternoon. About 60% of us ended up staying on the dry side. It would have been nice if all of us got the rain. It's a little crispy out there, but overall it is shaping up pretty good as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight. We still may get a few scattered thunderstorms try to pop up kind of in this general sector in southwestern Missouri. Besides that, I think most of us are going to be fairly quiet as we go through the night. So you can see those little pop-up guys next couple hours kind of dropping off toward the south and to the east. Temperatures will drop back near 70 later on tonight, upper 80s by noon as we get into the afternoon. I think most of us about 93, which is a smidge above our average for this time of the year. Good news, we'll have a northerly wind. This is going to usher in a little bit lower humidity as we go through the next few days. Still hot, of course. Heading into Thursday morning, upper 60s to start. By the afternoon, we're going to top out about 90, and that is actually our average high for this time of the year. All right, 71 to start, 87 by noon. High temp 93 as we go into your Wednesday afternoon. Great shot of our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. You can see a very light breeze looking right through downtown Joplin. Most of us upper 70s to near 80 at this point in time, but our humidity is still a little bit high. Dew points are sitting low to mid 70s. So what that means to you is the way it feels. It feels kind of muggy. It feels kind of soupy across the region. Heat indices are at least going to get closer to matching our high temperatures over the next couple days. So it's going to feel like 93, 94, 95. On Wednesday, it's going to feel like 90 or 91 by the time we go into Thursday. All right, let's drop down into the Atlantic. Here's Florida. Here's Aaron. Clocking winds 100. Category 2. It's going to track north. It's producing really big waves out across the Atlantic. It's not going to do that on the eastern seaboard. Yeah, they're going to kick up once you get toward North Carolina, and then it turns. So at least we don't see a lower 48 extreme landfall from this hurricane. For us back at home, so you can see Aaron kind of turns right up that eastern seaboard. We've been watching this Omaha high pressure. It pushes toward the west. Look at this. Here's what we call northwest flow. It's out of the northwest, kind of ushering in some cooler temperatures, especially as we get to next week. So let's go into your weekend. So Friday, lower 90s, still hot. Saturday, may get a few scattered thunderstorms in here. Lower 90s. Sunday, we're looking about upper 80s. So we are looking better, especially next week. 93 on your Wednesday, 91 Thursday, 93 Friday. 90 Saturday, and then we could see a nice little stretch of 80s sitting around next week.
I'm not hating on the 80s, that's for sure.
No,
That'll be nice.
It looks pretty good.
Yeah, and the lows in the 60s, so okay, we'll do it. All right, thanks, Doug. Well, still ahead, the Missouri Southern Lions enter the 2025 season with sights set on a comeback year. We'll hear from the team next. And Pitt State has a tough start to the season with highly ranked matchups. We'll have the details coming up.
The college football season is right around the corner, and Pitt State enters the year as the 10th ranked team in Division II. And as the Gorillas prepare for year 2 under head coach Tom Anthony, a key strength will come in the secondary, with 4 senior returners at the back end of the defense. And while there's a lot of new on the offensive side of the ball, the ground game has stood out throughout camp so far.
Strength of our team should be our secondary, that defensive group. Four all-conference guys all coming back, 4 seniors back there. So we'll lean heavily on that group for sure on the defensive side. Offensively, I've just really been pleased kind of with the run game, with Cleo and with that offensive line is really gelling, meshing together. Those 5 guys that have been kind of running with our ones throughout camp have looked pretty good. So I've been very pleased with that.
We have a lot of guys returning, have a lot of experience in that back end, but our job is just to take that role and bring some of the younger D linemen, younger linebackers along for the ride and just kind of show them the way. And before you know it, by the season, those guys will take that leadership role in no time. We've been together, a lot of us, for 4, even 5 years, and kind of just learned from the guys before us, like Malikas, Gaskell, Rico Payton, and they kind of paved the way for us, and we kind of followed their path.
As Pitt State kicks off their season in just over a week, the Gorillas are embracing their competitive nature. To open the year, they will face 3 of the top 5 ranked teams in the country, battling Ferris State, Central Oklahoma, and Grand Valley State.
At Pittsburgh State, I mean, that's just kind of the standard here. You know, I mean, we want to go play high-level opponents, and we know we're going to play high-level opponents every single week in this conference. So then obviously being able to schedule those 2 non-con games with Ferris and Grand Valley. Obviously our guys are excited about it, the town's excited about it, and I mean, we're just excited to get to go play a football game.
That's the best you can ask for. I mean, if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best, you know. We prepared hard all year for this moment. Like I said, a lot of guys stepping up, so we want no other way. We're not worried about kind of the outside noise. Obviously, we know what's up ahead of us, but every day we're doing the best we can that day, and we use that mentality to get one. So bad play, good play, get one. Next day, get one, and we're kind of focused on the right now, and then when that game comes up, we're ready.
Pitt State opens their season next Thursday, August 28th, on the road against number 1 Ferris State. The Lions of Missouri Southern enter their 2025 season with a chip on their shoulder, full of motivation to get back to their winning ways. Coming off a disappointing 2-9 season, Missouri Southern has a lot of questions to answer, including who will be lining up under center for the Lions. With 5 guys competing for the job and the season opener less than 2 weeks away, MSSU has yet to announce its starting quarterback. But one thing is for certain, every player on this roster is ready to make sure Missouri Southern is a winning football team.
Like I said earlier, our energy, our excitement to be out here is obviously different. I think anybody that was here last year can come out here today, come out here any day this fall camp, and they're going to tell you it's different.
We had a big emphasis on culture this offseason. You know, our last year didn't go the way we wanted it to, so, you know, we're trying to build a culture, and coaches have really pushed that, and we're all kind of buying in, so we're excited, and we expect a big year.
Head coach Atiba Bradley enters his 5th season with Southern and looks to bounce back from the most losses he's had in a season with the Lions. Last year, the Lions defense surrendered 41 points per game, but Bradley is optimistic that this unit will be a bright spot on the team, alongside a pair of skill positions on the offensive side of the ball.
I've been really pleased with, honestly, our back 7. You know, they're running better than they have since I've been here. The other group, I would say, is our tight ends and the versatility that they've shown. And then the other one is tailback. You know, it's a lot of experience returned, a lot of guys that have taken some snaps, and so they're really showing their veteran status, if you will.
The Lions begin the 2025 season on Saturday, August 30th on their home turf against Midwestern State. The Royals and Cardinals remained within striking distance in their wild card races, and after picking up wins on Monday, both squads looked to make it 2 in a row on Tuesday. Cardinals took the series opener against the Marlins last night, 8-3, and the Redbirds secure the series with a 7-4 win tonight. Ivan Herrera leading the way for St. Louis with 3 RBIs in the win. Thomas Sajaci knocked in a run and finished with 3 hits. Cardinals now looking for the sweep tomorrow. Royals entering the night on a 4-game winning streak after taking down the Rangers on Monday, 4-3. Kansas City extends that streak to 5 games with a 5-2 win over Texas. Mikey Stremski and Vinny Pasquantino hitting home runs for the 2nd straight night. Then Bobby Witt Jr. comes up with the cherry on top, hitting his 100th career home run, becoming the fastest Royal to 100 career homers and the 4th player ever to reach 100 home runs and 100 stolen bases in his first 4 MLB seasons. Quite the accomplishment for Bobby Witt. Royals within striking distance, only 2.5 games back of that final wildcard spot.
Pretty awesome. And I can't believe Pitt State next Thursday already.
Next Thursday, and they've got the gauntlet to start. But they're saying it's only 1 game at a time, and tough one to start with the top-ranked team in Ferris State.
Yes. All right. We'll be back with more news after this. The bond between man and man's best friend is usually strong, and medical experts say it can even help strengthen your health. Fox News' Gary Baumgarten takes a closer look at how owning a pet can prime your mind and body.
While not technically a miracle drug, the CDC says owning a dog can offer plenty of health perks, with medical experts citing how Fido can help increase people's chances of getting outside to exercise, which can help decrease blood pressure and cholesterol levels. Pets also provide emotional support, which can help people manage feelings of depression and loneliness.
Just a beautiful area.
And here in the States lies a pristine place dedicated to upholding the bond between man and man's best friend.
The property itself is 150 acres of fenceless and leash optional
park.
Dog Mountain is a massive park located in northeastern Vermont.
A pilgrimage place and a sanctuary.
And it continues attracting visitors from all over the country.
It's very rare you see something like this anywhere. We've been traveling all over the U.S. for 5.5 months.
It was established 25 years ago.
It was created by Stephen Hunick and his wife Gwen, and Stephen was a folk artist of international renown.
And the property features plenty of hiking trails, ponds for swimming, and space for people and pets to explore. Dog Mountain also has an art gallery and a chapel.
All are welcome to come here.
The chapel features pictures and notes owners have written honoring their companions, past and present.
I did put a note up for my previous border collie, he was my best buddy.
Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
Up next, a scary movie reunion. A comedy star joining the Masters of the Universe, and a horror classic returns to the big screen. Your Hollywood Minute coming up. 2 stars return to the Scary Movie franchise, and Kristen Wiig lands a new role. Here's David Daniel with today's Hollywood Minute.
I'm in the house. Do you know where I am?
You're behind the couch. I can see your feet.
Scary Movie brings back 2 of its original stars. Anna Faris and Regina Hall are set to reunite for a new installment in the horror spoof franchise. Returning writer and star Marlon Wayans announced the news on Instagram. The 6th film in the series is due to land in theaters next summer. Kristen Wiig lends her voice to a heroic new film. The actress will voice mechanical warrior Roboto in the latest big screen adaptation of Masters of the Universe, according to The Hollywood Reporter. Based on the popular 1980s toy line, the movie is due in theaters in June. Classic scares return to the big screen. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre is back in theaters nationwide tonight only. The event kicks off Fathom Entertainment's Fright Fest 2025 and coincides with the day in which the events of the beloved horror film take place. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
That's our time for tonight. Thank you for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of kangaroos boxing at the Nashville Zoo. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.